My name is Rowan Gormley. I'm the owner of a 40-foot Nautitech Open called PoléPolé, which means slowly, slowly in Swahili, which is about the pace at which we travel. The reason I bought the boat, bought a catamaran for the obvious reasons. We plan to be on board for 6 months of the year, for several years, which means you really want to have living space. We have quite a lot of guests coming along, and it's just unbeatable on a cat for the outdoor lifestyle. Why Nautitech? Couple of reasons. The first is that it is, for us, the perfect amount of outdoor space. We're sailing in the tropics. We don't want to be sitting indoors and having a great big indoor saloon where, we don't have air conditioning. So we want to spend our time outdoors, and the design of the Nautitech with a huge outdoor space is unrivaled. We haven't seen any other boat of a similar size to offer better outdoor living accommodation. And why the 40 foot? Because it's big enough to accommodate us and our guests in comfort, and it's quick enough that we get from A to B in decent time, and it is small enough for 2 people to handle. So it seemed to us to be the perfect combination of comfort and speed. Lots of people say comfort and speed are a trade-off. My personal view is there's a sweet spot. If you go too far down the comfort level with a lagoon or a leopard, you just see those guys wallowing in light breezes, not going anywhere, so the engine kit's turned on. If you go to the rocket ship end of the spectrum, you see those guys getting divorced because the boat is hammering up and down, everyone on deck except the skipper's having a miserable time. There's only so fast you actually want to go if you're going to spend 6 months on the boat cruising and not racing, and our Nautitech does that absolutely perfectly. Second question is, what's our favourite Caribbean location so far and why? Well, our journey started in Fort Lauderdale and finished in Grenada. We had to skip quite a lot in between because COVID restricted it. But I would say our absolute favourite destination is Grenada. The people are delightful, the island is stunning, lots of great mooring spots. Just north of Grenada you got Carriacou and a whole bunch of little islands. And we were lucky enough to be here when it was COVID, and it's been pretty empty, so fantastic. As far as beautiful blue water, crystal clear, great snorkeling, actually the Bahamas is really hard to beat, especially the outer islands. And I think an absolute gem that a lot of people don't never stop at is Turks and Caicos, where I think it's the clearest water I've ever seen in my life. And we saw more live, vibrant coral and tropical fish than ever. As far as traveling in the time of Grenada is concerned, the first thing I would say is go for it. Getting in and out of countries, the Caribbean republics have done a fantastic job of making the process slick. The general rule is you have to have a COVID test before you fly out. You then either have a short quarantine, we're in for 4 days, followed by another COVID test, and if you clear, you're then free to travel. And there are 7 or 8 Caribbean islands which have formed what's called the CARICOM bubble. And once you're in, you can travel freely between them, where you just have to do a test when you arrive at each of the islands. Or, occasionally a short quarantine, but you can spend it on your boat. So, frankly, when you've sailed off somewhere, going spending 4 days near whatever biggish town is the main town, and chilling on the boat, it's no hardship. It is empty. We're in quarantine right now, and there are 5 people in the hotel. The hotel accommodates 160 people normally. There are maybe 1/10 of the number of boats I can see out there. So if you want to see the Caribbean at a time when it's uncrowded and you don't have to fight for moorings, this is a fantastic time to come. And also, these guys need the money. The islands rely upon us spending money here, and a great thing to support them. Plans for the next few months, we're starting in Grenada. We're going to be sailing for about 6 months, And broadly the plan is 2 months Caribbean islands, 2 months Cuba, and if it opens up, 2 months Colombia. Thereafter go through Panama and west from there, cross fingers. How do we customize the boat? I think there are a few things we did which have made a huge difference to us. The first is solar. So initially we got 400 watts of solar. We changed that for 1,000 watts, and the location of the solar is very important. It's on a scaffolding at the back, which is very slim and elegant. It means you have a lovely additional bit of shade at the back of the boat. It means the solar's in the sun for much more time than in the original place where it was. And it really means we can run a boat without running the engine, including the water maker, heating water, all the navigation, all lights, everything else. We just don't need to run the engine at all. Going to a marina, you don't need to plug into shore power and spend the money on that. So it costs a reasonable amount to do it, but honestly, what you save in electricity fees in marinas and running a diesel for 2 hours a day to charge your batteries pays for itself financially several times over and mentally 1,000 times over. The second thing I would say that was important to us was we've got lithium batteries rather than the gel batteries. Makes a huge difference. First of all, they are slightly lighter. Secondly, they charge much faster, so your solar gets absorbed into the batteries much quicker than it does in the gel battery. And 600 amps of solar delivers nearly twice as much usage as 600 amps of conventional battery, because you can discharge it all the way down and charge it all the way up. The third thing is we didn't get a generator. We don't have aircon, and we've absolutely never needed it. And I would say generally people we have met who have got those things have endless trouble. And you've got two big, expensive, heavy bits of kit which are prone to rust and mechanical failure. And honestly, if you're at anchor, we have never ever needed to use aircon at anchor. In a marina, what we eventually found was getting one of those Dyson fans, which costs about 300 quid, gets a fantastic stream of air coming over you, is silent, and you can put it away when the boat's under passage. So, fantastic. On the dinghies, we went for an ultralight dinghy with a 15 horsepower engine, which means it can get on the plane easily with 2 people and 2 adults and 2 kids, which means you can moor up far from wherever it is you want to snorkel, get on the plane, be there very quickly, and get back again. And the whole setup weighs 110 kilograms, which is nice and light.